Well, good morning, YouTubers and Bible fans all over the world. Pastor Matt back with you again on this Monday morning, the fourth week of Advent as we approach Christmas Day. And today we are looking at another of Crossway's excellent Bible offerings. Perhaps it's not too late for you to get one of these in time for Christmas. Of course, today we are talking about Crossway's version of the wide margin reference Bible. Now, some of you will have already seen my how to use a wide margin Bible, in which I feature this Bible over here, the Cambridge Wide Margin Edition, one of the best Bibles made on planet Earth. But today we're going to look at a lesser expensive but genre comparable edition put out by our friends over there at Crossway, and that would be this Bible right here before us today. Now, I say it's less expensive, and that is certainly true. The Cambridge Wide Margin Edition is going to cost you in the neighborhood of $200 for its goatskin leather and its world-class paper. But this edition is going to be somewhat of a poor man's Cambridge Wide Margin, but I don't think that poor of a man. Honestly, this is a very nice Bible. Now, as you can see, it is somewhere in the range of 9 inches tall by 6 inches wide. This is a large Bible, quite large, and it is bound in a genuine leather, which is pigskin, folks. Whenever you see genuine leather, you know that that is a pigskin. It does have a artificial grain stamped onto it. That grain, I can assure you, did not come off of the animal, but it is a rather nice and aesthetically pleasing looking grain. This Bible has no raised ribs, but it does have a fairly nice looking spine. As you can see, Crossway reminds us 1, 2, and 3 times that this is in fact the English Standard Version of the Bible. And inside here we have a paste down liner, which I believe is built to grind. This Bible is probably going to last you for quite some time. It does feel incredibly strong to the hand. I get the sense that this Bible is made to use and is going to give the user a good lifelong experience. Well, let's crack open the cover, shall we, and have a look at those wide margins. The first thing we'll notice here is that the Bible does have a very nice readable 9-point font. Now, that's actually an improvement over the Cambridge edition, which comes in at slightly less than that. And if we were to put the two Bibles side by side, we would see that the Crossway edition does have a larger font. Additionally, you have a feature here that I wish Cambridge would have adopted, but sadly they did not. And that is to say that the inner margins are just as wide as the outer margins, meaning that you have just as much space to take your notes on the inside margins of this Bible as the outside. And for goodness sakes, of course, that ought to be the case, as these columns on the center are just as important and noteworthy as the outer columns are, and therefore you ought to have some nice wide margins on the inside. Now, Cambridge has that too, but just not quite as wide. I'm not sure why. Wish it was. You'll notice here that the reference suite is down here at the bottom of the right column, and that's true on both sides of the page, whereas the Cambridge Wide Margin, which I've referenced a few times already, is a center column reference suite in the middle of the two columns. That's what gives you the ability to raise that font to about 9 points. But there are some give and take, as you might imagine. This Bible does not have quite as large of margins in the top and the bottoms. So, depending on your note-taking proclivities, that may be problematic to you. I will say that the paper is good, very good. I'm going to give it a B or a B+. It feels nice and thick, and show-through is very minimal, but it's not going to be quite as great as the world-class paper in the Cambridge. And so let's go ahead now and just have a visual look at these two Bibles. I'm going to turn to the Gospels just so we can see the difference. Here we have the Cambridge Wide Margin versus the Crossway Wide Margin. Note the difference in the center column references. Note the differences in the column widths. Look at the center column here margin, and the Cambridge is narrower, not nearly as wide as its external margin. And I actually wish that they would they would move this whole thing over and have the margins the same size in the Cambridge. Okay, so there's some obvious visual differences. Another difference, if you're thinking about spending the money, is of course the Cambridge is going to have this goat skin exterior, which is fantastic. Amazing grain, much richer, as you can probably see. Probably going to be more durable in the long run, and certainly more beautiful as well. So, strengths and weaknesses. You have a fairly comparable, very usable wide margin edition here put forward by Crossway. You get a better font at 9 points versus I think it's the 8 for the Cambridge. You get a lesser quality cover, but still very durable and strong. It's not going to be as soft to the touch as, for instance, this Rebound goatskin study Bible that I have. This is very soft goatskin leather. It's going to be thicker, tougher, but I can imagine this Bible being excellent for lifelong work of taking notes in your margins, copying down quotations, sermon points, illustrations if you're a preacher. Red letter, did I mention that? I don't think I did. It's a red letter Bible. And listen, if I wasn't using the Cambridge, I would seriously consider using this Bible. One more reason in comparison: the wide margin's pretty wide, thus the name. But look, the Crossway overall has a slimmer profile, although the two Bibles are about as thick as the other. I think that makes this one a little bit easier to preach with if you're a preacher or a Bible teacher. Okay? So that's about as much information as I can give you in 7 minutes. I will post a link to this Bible down here in the video description of your YouTube channel. You might have to click the toggle button depending on whether you're looking at your laptop, your tablet, or your phone. But you can get this Bible through a direct link to Amazon if you just follow my my hyperlink. Okay, hey, thanks for checking in again. Lots more on my Bibles, Books, and Rebinds playlist. Remember, I love you lots. Jesus loves you more, and we will see you next time. Have a great day.